We're back with a story about a man, an Army veteran, a Negro Leagues legend. Wilbur Rogan, also known as Bullet, has a plaque in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. He's regarded as one of the best pitchers and hitters to play in the Negro Leagues and even baseball in general. And if you visited his gravesite, you never know it until now. Last week, Bullet's grandson, family, and friends unveiled a new memorial to take the place of the Army headstone he'd had for generations. This process started about a year ago when KMBC 9 News did a story to help bring attention to a fundraising effort for this. It started with a push from a local attorney. The Negro Leagues Museum got involved and then worked with the Rogan family to make this happen.
The nice thing is it's something that I didn't initiate. You know, all of this was done by someone else that had the foresight, they had the determination, they had the desire, to honor my grandfather in a way that hadn't been done before.
The monument's beautiful. It's made of black onyx, was shipped all the way from India. What's more, the groundskeeper found this tattered baseball buried beneath the old headstone. It's now headed to the Negro Leagues Museum. Bullet was by many accounts humble and also by many accounts amazingly talented. KMBC 9's Dennis Evans explores that legacy with someone who knows Bullet's story very well.
We're joined by Bob Kendrick, the president of the Negro League Baseball Museum, the National Negro League Baseball Museum, and what an amazing day this is. First of all, did you ever think that this day was going to come?
No, because had it not been for the foresight of my friend Kevin Kinney, who pointed out to us that Bullet Rogan lay at rest here and was in a relative nondescript gravesite, we would not have necessarily known. Now, maybe eventually would have found out. But it took that kind of foresight, that kind of interest and passion to springboard a project of this nature, which we were thrilled to get behind and play a small role in making this day happen.
How important is something like this? The fact that, someone saw this and saw he didn't have what they considered a proper monument, to be able to go from that to this beautiful monument that we see here.
It's pretty special, and it is absolutely an appropriate recognition for a ball player the magnitude of Bullet Rogan. Because we're talking about one of the greatest baseball players, again, not in black baseball history, but in baseball history. And this is very fitting. And I hope that folks, particularly baseball fans, who oftentimes want to go find where these players are buried, where they lay at rest, will come out and pay tribute.
Talk about him as a baseball player.
Tremendous baseball player, one of the first two superstars of the newly formed Negro Leagues in 1920, in my opinion, a two-way superstar in the Negro Leagues. Now, most other players were two-way. You're going to play multiple positions if you played in the Negro Leagues. But as we celebrate the remarkable feats of a Shohei Ohtani today, that was Bullet Rogan in 1920. Yeah, a great pitcher. Threw with a no wind-up delivery, yet his nickname was Bullet because he got it up there in a hurry, masterful with all of his pitches, great control, threw hard, great curveball, threw a palm ball. But when he wasn't pitching, he hit cleanup for the Kansas City Monarchs and played the outfield. And I remind people all the time, you don't just hit cleanup for the Monarchs. The Monarchs always had great teams. And so if you're going to bat in the fourth spot in the Monarchs lineup, you got to be able to rake. And Bullet Rogan could flat out hit. Lifetime batting average well over 300. There are those who believe that you can make a legitimate case that Bullet Rogan is the greatest baseball player of all time.
Those are big words. Those are big words. Those are huge words. Where did the name Bullet come from?
Well, again, he had this great fastball. And can you picture this? A no wind-up delivery. Everybody now goes into the big high leg kick, and Rogan is standing there squared up to you, and pew, that thing came firing out of there. And again, he had that dominant fastball that, people just struggle with. But he had the full repertoire of pitches to go with that great fastball. But that's how he got his nickname, Bullet.
Things like this clearly a tribute to the players of the Negro League Baseball, but also the attention that is now coming to the Negro Leagues in general, as well as to the museum. Address that a little.
Yeah, no, and that's really what we always wanted to see happen. We continually find and identify these kinds of projects and initiatives to get involved with. We're constantly working to do whatever we can to elevate the recognition and awareness of these legendary players. Again, so many of them played in anonymity. And don't get me wrong, they filled up ballparks across this country, but they also played in stadiums where sometimes there were hardly anybody in those stadiums. They should lay at rest in anonymity if we can do anything remotely about it, particularly stars of the magnitude of Bullet Rogan. And so it's exciting for the museum to be part of an initiative that was really driven by the community. I think it strikes a chord with the community in regards to what this museum represents, this beacon that this museum has become over the first 33 years of its existence. And as we look very excitingly to the future of this museum as we prepare to build a brand new standalone Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, and Dennis be able to bring even more of these stories to the forefront in a much more expansive way than what we can do in our present home now. But man, it always gets me excited to see the community rally around these things that we are embarking on. And this is one of those great community-driven initiatives.
An amazing time for Negro League Baseball, an amazing time for the family, and this monument is something people definitely need to come out and see. Bob Kendrick from the Negro League Baseball Museum, we thank you so much for your time.
Man, thank you as always. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Dennis. What an amazing story. If you'd like to go see the memorial for yourself, just go to Blue Ridge Lawn Memorial Gardens. It's near 27th and Blue Ridge in Kansas City, Missouri.